Hi, welcome to MMSC366. This is Dr. Boney. This is a short orientation video to show you how to navigate the course and get started. So before we even look at the syllabus, the first thing we're going to do is get you registered for free online lectures. So you're going to click here, and it's going to take you to another window like this, and it's going to bring you to a place called Edpuzzle, which is where I embed a lot of my lecture videos. And you may be looking around going, I don't get it, where do I put in my information? But it's all the way up here on the right. You're going to hit sign up, and from here you can either use a Gmail address if you want, like your school one, doesn't matter, or if you want to use a different one, you can sign up with a first name, last name, or username and a password. Any are fine, and then you can join the class. Obviously it's not letting me do that because I'm in the class, but it will let you do it. Then all you have to do is X out of this, and now we're back here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to show you the syllabus, and we're going to talk about some very important parts of this. So here is the syllabus, and we're going to go down this, not all of it, but the parts that are critical. Obviously my email is here, and you can reach me whenever you want. All this other stuff you can read, prerequisites, they don't apply because you're in the class. These are the learning outcomes. These are the general kind of large-scale goals of the course, and I have much more specifics to these things. And instead of just listing, dozens and dozens of them down in your syllabus where you don't know where they belong, I've actually put them into certain units. So I'll talk about that later. The way that you learning materials, this will be already set up for you, but of course Canvas, McGraw-Hill Connect access code, and depending on which semester, this may be embedded already, or you may have to do it. Of course then Edpuzzle, and you can see now why I already showed you that, because now you know what that is. And then Zoom. Even though this is asynchronous, obviously I'm available to teach when you need me to on any occasion where we can set up a meeting. How you're graded. There are 3 exams. Each one's worth 20%. There's a lot of quizzes, interactive simulations, and a few papers that also help you with what's on the exams. They're not separate. They actually prepare you for the exams. And then there's a final exam, and that's 100%. This is the grading scale for MMSC department, and the part that's of most interest to you is this. This is the calendar. This tells you exactly what we're doing every single week and what you have to give me and what date it's due. So it's very easy to understand. So starting week of 3-1, and again you can start earlier if you want, we're focusing on chapter 3. What you owe me by the end of that week, 3/8, is the Chapter 3 Connect assignment and a virtual simulation lab that's going to help with some of the content and also testing the test. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So going down the line here, you see exactly when things are due. Everything that's a Connect assignment's in purple. Everything that's some sort of virtual way to help you to see the lab, since a lot of this you would be able to do in a lab or look at. This is helping for the content of the test. I know this isn't a lab course. And then the quizzes are in green, and you have 2 papers that you're going to be doing and 2 case studies. We'll talk about them later. So everything is very clearly organized. The exam dates are here. You have 24 hours to take the exams. Basically, exam 1 opens up on 3/22 at 12:01 in the morning, and it closes at 11:59 at night. So you know exactly when that is. You can do any of these other assignments earlier. So let me go ahead and talk about the content, and then I'm going to talk about what this weird thing called testing the test means. Okay, so let me go back to Canvas for a second. So to make this very easy for you, literally my recommendation is to follow all of these assignments and helps and virtual simulations top to bottom. That's a lot. And by the way, you'll see that this course is not just, hey, here's the PowerPoints, go learn. That's not the way this course is organized. This is very difficult information. So the first thing that you're going to see here is that there's an exam study guide. And this, instead of putting these at the very front of the syllabus in this gigantic list where you're not sure which ones belong to which chapters, I've pulled them out here. And so these are a little bit more specific. If you want to know what you need to know for the first exam, it's not a trick question. Here's what you need to know. This is the specific content to what's on it. So it's going to guide the way that you can study. And I also made it a Word document, so if you wanted to kind of type this and expand it and put notes in between it, that's also fine. So that kind of gives you a sense of kind of what's on the exam. So that's why I put that first. Then there's a Chapter 3 PowerPoint from the book. I trimmed that down a little bit. There's a couple things in there that are not necessarily on the exam or within the learning strategies for the course, so they've been removed. So now if we go down here, we see that there are a series of these things. And what are these things? Well, these are actually Edpuzzle, mini little lectures that I make with questions. So what you're going to do, obviously you're already registered. You're just going to click on Get Started. And what it's going to do, let me try again, what it's going to do, you're just going to hit the Get Started, and you're going to see it's going to open this up, and obviously it would make sense to be a little bit larger. So if you were to open them up like this looks like a YouTube video, but in the bottom of this video, may not be easy to see from this point here, but there are actually little teeny tabs at the bottom. And these little tick marks at the bottom, I know you can't hear what the video is doing, but these little tick marks in the bottom are going to be little assessment questions that are embedded in the actual videos themselves. Here's a little bit of a different view of it because I'm sure the video frame was interrupting it. But you can see that there's these little teeny tiny dots in the bottom, and these are assessment questions that are embedded within the video. So as you get across to a certain part of the video, let's see what happens here. Once this video gets to this little bubble here, we're going to see what's going to happen. So bam, right at that point, of course, there's a little note. And I can either make notes on the video or I can ask you actual assessment questions. So that's something you're going to see down here is a whole bunch of these things, and they're going to be very useful to you in your learning because they all apply to a lot of the work that you're doing. So then what's going to happen is you go down Chapter 3 and all these things. Of course, you have the PowerPoint. You're going to take notes on that. You're going to do all these assessments, and then you're going to get to the Chapter 3 assignment. And you're going to click on that. And of course, on my view, it's going to look like this, but on your view, it's actually going to have a link to open up a McGraw-Hill activity, and that's going to look something like this. It's going to open up a screen that kind of looks like this within Canvas, and from here basically it's telling you that you get 3 chances. So all of these assignments, not the quizzes, just the chapter assignments, you get 3 chances. It takes the highest grade. Tells you when it's due, and so basically when you hit continue, some of these are going to be multiple choice, some are not. So again, this is just a review for a lot of you. I'm assuming, of course, you've had fundamentals of a microscope before. So, you know, they're critical when we get into the clinical aspects. So this is things from you putting together, you know, and drag and dropping. So, you know, here are different types of selective and differential media. You know, which do these refer to? It's a great way for you to, you know, to be able to study while you're doing this, you know, the different parts of immunology, microbiology. So there's also some where you're labeling figures. There's also some where you are doing multiple choice. There's a couple that, so this is not just your normal A, B, C, D. Some of them are, some of them aren't, but these are all again related to the, you can see a lot of these are just backing up your knowledge. And you can do this 3 times, and there's a check your work. I firmly believe that this is for you to learn, so that's why you're given 3 times to learn the mastery. So between the PowerPoint and, by the way, also like the book, and I'll get to kind of where you can access the book in a second. So that's really what you do. You just go down the line through all this stuff. Notice there's a quiz down here. Quizzes, you only get 1 shot. But you can kind of get the drift of how all this works. And then when it's time for you to take the exams are down here. Now, right now, the second exam is not open, but this one is. And by March 8th, I want you to take this. You get 5 points added to your overall grade for the course. This is a silly 1-question exam that you're taking. And here's why you're taking it. Because once you click on it, it's going to open up again McGraw-Hill, and it actually has proctoring software that I want to test, and I want to make sure that the proctoring software works. It's going to enable your webcam, make sure your webcam's working. It's going to lock your ability to right-click. It's going to lock your ability to open up secondary browsers, to copy, to paste, all that stuff. So this is how you're proctored for the real exam. But what I don't want to do is wait till the real exam and you open up the real exam and you're freaking out because the webcam's not working and something else isn't working. So all you're going to do is we're going to test out all the technology with this fake test. You're going to open up the test. You're going to answer the one question. Can you see the question? I'm actually, the first time in the history of teaching, I'm giving you the answer to the test. The answer is yes. Even if you get it wrong, I'll still give you the points. And then when you're all done, you're going to hit submit. And that's the way I'm going to test out the technology well before the test, so I know that it's working. Okay, so where can you find the textbook, and where can you find all the results from how your quizzes went and your assignments went and your exam and all the comments and all that kind of stuff to help you after you've taken it? Like, if you know, when you get your grade, that's going to go into Canvas gradebook, but which ones do you get right and wrong? So at the very, very bottom, and of course this is just for accessing your textbook and looking at the results, do not do any assignments through this way if you can help it. Do them all through here. But all you're going to do is click on here, and it's basically going to bring you to something like this, McGraw-Hill, and you are going to put in whatever the username and password that I gave you is. And after I do that, it's going to look something like this. You're going to be able to see all the same assignments that you did in order in Canvas. Please don't do the assignments from here. This is just for you to look at them. And all of the actual results, plus the exams and whatnot. But if you look over here, this is your textbook, and it's very easy to read. It's basically the textbook. So obviously I've been here a few times. I've read most of it, not in order, by the way, but a lot. So you can see here it's really easy to navigate. You can go through. You can pick by chapter. You can go by, obviously you can go page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however you want to do it that way. You can navigate pages, there's all your content, all of the methods. You can go to the next page. You can even search by a topic. You're like, oh, where I'm looking up, lysogenic. Like, where did I see that again? And notice it automatically will tell you on the right where the word lysogenic is. Obviously, 6 makes sense because it's about viruses. So it has a lot, and you can highlight stuff. You can do all kinds of cool things here. So this is where you would access your textbook and look at all of the specific results of what questions you got right and wrong on all of your activities. So what I do is, just to go back here real quick, and the video is almost over. What I do is give you a certain number of trials for some things, and this is the last part of the video. The video is over in a minute, so you've been really good. So this is the last part of the syllabus, now that you see everything, is that if any of these assignments are late, there's 5% off for late. If you miss an exam for whatever reason, you weren't ready, you were given birth, I don't know, it doesn't matter what the reason is, you weren't able to take it. I don't feel myself ethically qualified to decide that some students' reasons are better than others. You weren't there. You're going to be taking a makeup exam of that content the week of the 17th, which is the week before the last week of the semester. Exams, you get 1 attempt. Quizzes, you get 1 attempt. Both of those are proctored through that Proctorio thing that we're doing, where we test the test. In the virtual simulations, you get 2 attempts, and the chapter assignments, you get 3 attempts. And with the chapter assignments, the first time you do it, I just tell you what you got right and wrong. The second time I do it, I tell you more of a little bit of specifics or hints. And then the third time, after the third time, it will give you detailed feedback, exactly what you got right and wrong and why. So it's a learning tool for you. And so I hope that you enjoyed this video. This is the longest video. The good news is this is the longest video that I have out of any videos in the course. So I'm here if you need me, and good luck.